Hi, good morning, everybody. Wow, very good that we are meeting again. Actually, today we have a live actually in Instagram, Facebook, and also in certain Zoom. And I really want to appreciate people actually joining our webinar because this is going to be a really important webinar. A lot of people don't realize, Alzheimer is actually sort of the type 3 diabetes, which a lot of people don't understand that that is something that if you don't control your diabetes well, you're going to have that potentially getting Alzheimer disease. Man, that's the road you don't want to be in there. So this is so important that you listen to this and you know how to control that and go from there. And that's why this webinar can be a very important webinar to help you to better understand what to do. And from there, you can able to starting some step to help you out. So I hope you can enjoy this webinar after that and start taking action to basically help you to improve your diabetic health or pre-diabetic health so you never get into the road. Hi，各位堂友，我係 Angela 老師 President，你好，多謝你又今日咧又 join 我哋一齊咧，係多啲了解乜嘢叫做老人痴呆症啦，因為呢個咧係一個好有問題嘅問題嘅。點解咧？因為好多人如果有呢個叫做老人痴呆症咧，佢對生活全部第二樣嘢都係一個好大好大嘅問題。咁所以今日咧聽咗之後咧。你可能有開始防禦你嘅東西啦，咁所以咧變咗咧你就會能夠唔會行呢條路，咁咧幾好咧，好過你行咗條路，哇原來走唔翻出嚟喎，咁呢個就好弊啦。咁今日咧我又好特別咧喺 Instagram 都睇到我哋嘅，咁有幾笪地方咧有即係 Facebook 啦、Instagram 啦同埋Zoom 啦，咁其實。仲有咧就我哋原來個 replay 加埋晒有17000人全世界睇，哇都幾好喎！諗唔到咁勁嘅，但係好處，因為我呢個 lecture 係免費嘅，能夠令到咁多人得着咧，我好開心，因為大家能夠令到佢更加知道點去管理嘅糖尿病咧，係一個好重要嘅東西。So was very interesting. I start realizing in the whole world after all the replay, there's 17,000 actually people watching this.Replay video all accumulated so far. So this is something that I realized at least my free webinar will help a lot of people better understand their problem and how to manage diabetes. That will be very, very good and really important for everybody. And that is really wonderful. So without further delay, this is going to be a very long lecture. So I want to make sure that, you guys can have it.So I'm going to get this out of the way and then you can start seeing the slides here. So today we are going to talk about how diabetes related to Alzheimer's disease. And basically most important is insulin resistance, which affect all the nerve cells in the brain. And in terms, you end up will have the Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and now matter of fact, a lot of medical professionals have saying that.This is sort of the rated as saying that is called the type 3 diabetes. 咁今日咧，我哋講下點解會有呢個所謂叫即係老人痴呆症咧。咁如果老人痴呆症係點樣嘅咧？同埋仲有一樣嘢咧，係點解依家啲人咧會 relate 話呢樣嘢咧係關於老人痴呆症咧係？即係呢個可以叫做作為一個第3型嘅糖尿病嘅新東西咧。咁當然啦，現在嚟講，現在都好多要 research 係做呢樣嘢嘅。咁但係依家已經開始好多人講話，哇！第3個即係嘅3型嘅糖尿病就會變咗老人痴呆症。嗱，呢樣嘢咧真係如果了解到咧，你都覺得哇！我要真係開始預防咧，唔會去 move 去呢笪地方啦。OK。So I just want to double check some of the things that maybe Edwina, can you hear what I say here? We have give me a 1 if you can, so that way I know that you are okay with your Zoom meeting. You can hear the slide, see the slide. So I'm going to start. And I saw a lot of people from all over the world. Actually, today we have people from people from USA, Canada, and also many Southeast Asian country and Australia and so forth. So this is really good. So I will gonna take just a few minutes to talk about what is diabetes, so you can able to better catch up with many people who are new here that they don't know. So that way we can do that. So today our introduction will be talk about what is really Alzheimer's disease and what is the three type, why this Alzheimer's disease will come along because of insulin resistance, and how do you prevent? What is the strategy you can prevent? And also how can we have low sugar can help you to prevent this Alzheimer's disease. So it's going to be a little long seminar, but I think it's so worthwhile. You can able to understand the Alzheimer's disease. This is going to be wonderful. Okay, so we'll start. 各位堂友，今日咧我哋會講一個老人痴呆症點解會咁發生咧，同埋如果係因為胰島素抗拒咧，點解會變咗一個老人痴呆症咧？咁同埋咧就我哋嘅預防有咩預防咧？個老 T 就可以幫到你啊！咁今日我見到好多朋友都係未見過嘅，咁我所以變咗咧我就要或者用咗幾分鐘咧講講乜嘢叫做糖尿病，咁你見到更加了解呢樣嘢先。第一 ，OK。So really, there are 4 stages of diabetes, and as you know, everybody will go through these 4 stages. The first stage is the LDL cholesterol goes up. When LDL cholesterol goes up, it starts damaging the B cell come up from the pancreas, which is supposed to take the sugar into the cells. But if that is damaged, more and more B cell damage, so more and more they call it insulin resistant because no more sugar going to the cell. The B cells keep getting damaged, and in turn that the sugar will continue going to the bloodstream. So when the cholesterol and sugar add together, the blood becomes thick, and your problem will come along. You know why? Because when it happens, that will move to your stage 2, because when the blood becomes thick, they form plaques everywhere. Now, the entire diabetes problem is when you have plaques everywhere, it start plugging everywhere, your brain, your heart, your kidney, your eyes, everywhere we're going to form plaque. And that is the major problem of diabetes. And a lot of people don't understand that, but you got to think about, if you are plugged everywhere, your lifelong disease will occur from there on. Now, very quickly, because you don't do anything, lifestyle stays the same, you still don't have any signs, symptoms, you move to stage 3, which is pre-diabetic. Now, pre-diabetic, how we measure that is the doctor will all measure this thing called A1C, hemoglobin A1C, HbA1c. Everybody has hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the red blood cells which carry oxygen, right? So they measure the percentage of glucose or sugar hook up to this blood protein, and in turns with that, you will have 5.7 and lower, you are a normal person. If you have 5.7 to 6.3, you are pre-diabetic. Now, if you don't do anything, this is measure a 3 months average of your blood sugar attached to this hemoglobin. If you are continue to don't do anything, you know what? You will move into stage 3 to stage 4, which is diabetes. Now, during a stage 3, which is your pre-diabetic, you have no medication. The doctor will say, hey, you are pre-diabetic, you just got to change lifestyle. But a lot of people don't know what to do. That's where low sugar can come down and really help you. We want to catch you in this stage so you can make sure you can prevent yourself not to move to stage 4, which is your diabetes. When you get over 6.4, you will always be diabetic. So really importantly is not only stage 3, you need to start working with them, stage 1, stage 2, you need to start working together, prevent you getting to stage 3. But your stage 3, you still have a way to go to prevent yourself to go to diabetes. So that is so important. But once you get diabetes, you know what? In 2 to 3 years, you convert it, and then the doctor will basically start giving medication. You never can convert it back, okay? So this is the 4th stage. It's so important to know. 各位同學，因為我今日有好多朋友咧係由不同地方嚟啦，咁我講好快脆咧，係講咩叫點解會有糖尿病嘅？第一，糖尿病咧就好多時咧就係因為你個 LDL cholesterol 膽固醇上升啦，咁就 damage 你個喺胰島素出嚟 B cell 帶啲 cell 入去個細胞裏邊嘅。咁當呢啲係繼續係整壞咗之後咧，咁你個糖加埋你個膽固醇咧越整高咧，咁啲血咧就好結。 嗱，依個咧就最大問題係，因為咁好快咧就你 move 咗 stage 2啦。咁 stage 2咧就啲血好結咧，就將你嘅血管咧係咁全身係咁塞喎。咁你血壓就可以上升，因為好多整咗好多叫板塊喺度啦。咁啲血糖咧就喺度塞住晒，咁你個血管係好變咁越整越細，所以血壓就會上升啦。嗱，呢兩個時間嘅時候咧，如果你繼續做嘢咧，係能夠防止你去前期患病嘅。但係如果你咩都唔做咧，好快脆就去前期患病啦。你前期患病點咧？所有醫生咧都係度你咧，呢個 HbA1c， 佢就有我每個人都有紅血球嘅，咁佢就度你有幾多 percent 嘅糖黐住呢個紅血球。如果你5.7至以下咧，你係普通人 OK 嘅。但係如果5.7、6.3咧，原來話你become一個叫前期患病。前期患病嘅時候咧，醫生係冇藥俾你食嘅，只係話俾你，喂，你前期患病啦，咁你而家摘咗戒啦，咁你要做嘢，但係大多數唔識嘅，所以去糖茶喺呢段時間係可以幫到你，或者你嘅前面嗰啲，當你係血糖嘅同埋你個膽血高咧，我哋應該係可以控制咧，咁令到你更加好。但係你點解唔做冇變化咧？咁你2-3年後咧，你就變咗糖尿患病，你去6.4以上咧就糖尿病症。咁醫生就開始慢慢俾藥你食啦。咁你以後都變咗糖尿病症，翻唔到轉頭嘅喎。So really at the end of the day, how low sugar can help you? Really low sugar is two things. There's guava leaves in there, which help you to block the sugar going to the gut vessels, so you have less sugar in there. And then if even the blood sugar in there, they increase, a bitter melon will increase the insulin sensitivity. So take back the sugar into the cells. And also if excess blood sugar and also, cholesterol and they will dump that out through your urine. They don't and reabsorb those blood sugar and cholesterol. So dump it out. And then they also dump out the salt. So when dump off the salt, your blood pressure will come down. So your 3 high will definitely come down. And that makes you really become much healthier. Prevention to you go to solve the higher A1C and poor health, right? So low sugar tea is really a product that it's not a drug, it's just a tea, a supplement to help you to decrease your 3 high sugar, cholesterol and blood pressure. 嗱，點解退糖茶會幫助你咧？因為第一，退糖茶咧係裏邊咧就有2樣嘢，有個叫番石榴葉啦，佢將啲糖唔會帶入去腸嘅血管裏邊啦，少啲糖入去。咁就有啲糖入去咧唔緊要，因為佢裏邊咧有個叫做苦瓜，苦瓜咧就係增加個胰島素嘅敏感度，咁就帶翻啲糖入去細胞裏邊喎。咁同埋仲有咧，就佢有呢個尿咧喺個尿咧掉咗啲extra 嘅糖出嚟，再掉埋啲膽固醇出嚟，再帶埋啲鹽出嚟。咁當鹽降低咧，你血壓就可以降低。咁3個都搞掂咗嘅，同埋仲有幫助你排毒。So we don't really just tell you, okay, hey, just drink low sugar tea. We also provide you a comprehensive program to help you to lower your blood sugar, cholesterol at the 3 high. And the way how we do it is teach you how to diet with low carbohydrate diet, low fat diet, and how to lower your cholesterol. We'll also teach you how to exercise. We'll walk 10,000 steps. We'll control your weight. If you're a 30 BMI, we'll help you to lower down to 23 BMI. We listen to a professional webinar every week. And each week will be basically on Saturday or Friday for United States time. And also we teach you how to measure your blood sugar and diet and weight and so forth. So we have a whole system for you to help you to improve your health. Our goal is if your A1C is higher than 10+%, we still can help you to bring it down to 5.7. Now, I saw a lot of my patients actually decrease the A1C below 5.7. It's really excellent. I think this is perfect. That's what we are trying to do. Hope that you are continuing work with us. We'll empower you to do works because we'll give you the knowledge how to do it. 嗱，各位同學，我哋唔係話就係飲茶咁簡單嘅，因為咧飲茶咧係唔夠嘅。 我哋仲要教埋你咧點去食嘢啦，喺個帶上啦，俾低嘅碳水食物俾你啦，低嘅脂肪嘅食物啦，同埋咧仲有教點運動啦，行10000步啦，同埋其他運動啦，仲有咧係點能夠降低磅重啦，仲有咧我哋每個禮拜都有醫療講座啦，同埋咧仲有點度你血壓同埋你嘅糖。呢個咧係好重要嘅，因為其實咧，如果你唔度咧，你真係唔知道你現在嘅情況係乜。咁呢個係十分重要嘅東西，所以我哋會做晒呢啲咁東西嘅。Okay, so now we talk about what is Alzheimer disease. Okay, now Alzheimer disease is something that is really can be very detrimental for many of our people who, if they are diabetes, they can potentially move to Alzheimer's disease. And you don't want to do that. You really want to stay away from that, okay? So basically, Alzheimer's disease is a very common dementia disease. That is 60% of dementia case in the world is with Alzheimer, okay? So it is a common disease. Depends on progression only. Usually start with like after a certain time, you start getting worse and worse. And usually it started with just some memory loss in the beginning, but gradually it can become more and more severe. And eventually you don't even remember your family member, and also when especially older adult, it really affects tremendously. So a majority of the cases, though, however, many of these 5% occur even before 65. It's not only old folks, okay? So really can be a detrimental disease for lots and lots of people, okay? If you can able to do it, you can control it, you don't get into there, wow, you are perfect, because really you don't want to be in that stage, okay? Now, the cause of early onset of Alzheimer's disease is really not quite well understood at this stage. There's still a lot of research. However, they think it is because a lot of protein is kind of tangled up in the brain due to insulin resistance, and then lead to the brain cells start dying. So a lot of time you will see Alzheimer's brain, which I will show you a picture later, it becomes shrink. It's getting smaller, your brain becomes smaller. And as you go on further and further, you get worse. You lost memory, and a lot of people actually die after 9 years later. Okay, so this is something that is you got to have to prevent before you get into there. So what we're trying to do is teach you not to get into there, and basically you can able to be always preventive if you can. That's what we're trying to do today, and get you to understand. And later on, we'll talk a lot about how to prevent you if you are diabetes or pre-diabetic, how not to become an Alzheimer's patient. Okay. 嗱，腦癌痴癌症咧，痴癌症咧喺全世界上咧係大概有60% 咧都有，即係有好多人有呢樣嘢喎。咁但係其實呢個病咧，其實咧係需要一段長時間係咁慢慢逐啲惡化。嗱，初期嘅時候咧就係你唔記得嘢嘅啫，少少唔記得嘢。但係以後之後咧就好多時一路唔記得嘢就更加厲害咯。但係當時仲有咧5% 嘅人咧係有呢個老人痴呆症咧係65歲前嘅，所以其實都有一大部分係有呢樣嘢咧係後生啲，咪就係老人只有喎，即係呢個65歲前你都有嘅。咁其實最大嘅問題咧就係因為咧佢開始，因為我哋好多叫 insulin resistant 啦，咁就開始咧，即係 insulin resistant 嗰啲糖就帶唔到入去腦裏邊啦，咁帶唔到啲糖帶唔到腦裏邊咧，佢就開始即係有嗰啲叫 amyloid plaque 啊，之後塞，咁個腦咧就可以塞到啲細胞咧就可以壞啦，咁變咗壞嘅時候咧，咁個腦咧嗰度就收縮咗啦，咁你就壞死咗，應該俾個腦嘅個相俾你睇，你見到真係一個好大嘅問題，個腦係縮咗嘅。咁樣疫疫情嘅惡化之後，9年後咧，好多人咧就會變咗死亡噶啦。咁你睇下嗱，呢個咧就係this is the really healthy brain, and this is the Alzheimer brain. You know this Alzheimer brain, all these things is over, it starts shrinking, and shrinking. You see how bad the brain is? It's actually a shrinking brain. So net result of that, your brain becomes shrink. A lot of places of the brain start dying. So net result, you end up with actually start losing memory, and that's the sad part. So that's why I want to show you the brain so you can see how you look is Alzheimer brain and what is healthy brain。嗱，你睇到兩個腦咧，一個咧就係呢個叫做所謂叫健康嘅腦啦。咁呢個咧腦呆痴呆症嘅腦咧，就個腦係 shrink 咗嘅。shrink 咗之後咧，弊家伙啦，就呢啲係翻唔到轉頭喎，記住啊！所以變咗嚟講咧，我都唔想你喺呢度，我既希望你繼續喺呢度，唔會變咗腦呆痴呆症。So really at the end of the day, how a cause of the Alzheimer's disease, well, they suspect that is really because of insulin resistance. That's the reason why the major cause of diabetic, from the diabetic became Alzheimer's disease. So at this stage, it still need a lot of research, but at least we have some indication that is become, maybe the major cause, okay? So because the problem is first, the insulin resistance. Remember, we talk about insulin resistance? The B cells come out, they keep cholesterol keep damaged B cell, or high sugar also damage B cell. So the B cell continue to be dying off, or more B cell come, it doesn't work, it doesn't take sugar into the cells. So when that happens, the brain doesn't get sugar anymore because they get less and less sugar, because the sugar cannot get to the brain cells. So when that happens, your diabetes become worse and worse. So then the issue is Alzheimer's disease will also become more and more associated. And how that works is because the Alzheimer, the insulin resistance, it really decreased the glucose metabolized in the brain and disrupted the brain. And then the brain, because they cannot get the sugar, so they start forming this called beta amyloid plaques and also neurofibril tangles. In other words, the brain cell got all tangled, get scar, and eventually, the cells start dying off. Then the characteristic of Alzheimer's disease start issuing, because your brain cells basically start dying. Okay, basically that's what it is. So give you some idea what that is. At least because your sugar keep going up, and the insulin resistance are going higher, so no sugar go back to the cells of the brain, and the brain eventually got tangled up with all the very much protein. It's plaques start forming all over the place. You can't get the sugar into the cells, and guess what? The cells start dying. Okay， 嗱，其實腦遺超遺症咧係一個好簡單東西。第一，因為咧你胰島素抗拒，胰島素佢帶唔到啲糖入翻去個腦嘅細胞裏邊，咁糖嘅細胞裏邊咧佢就 form 啲好多個 plaque 出嚟，因為係咁塞嘛，塞咗之後咧嗰啲糖就去唔到咯。去唔到咧，弊啦，你個腦咧就可以死亡啦。越整越多咧，咁你個腦就可以越整越細咧 ，eventually 咧你就腦遺失聯症就會繼續出現啦。所以喺呢度咧可以睇到咧 ，you start off with insulin resistant, and then you become Alzheimer, the disease, which is like which we talk about. And eventually, we call this the type 3 diabetes. That's the conclusion. Basically, this is what we suspected. So we suspected that the insulin resistance created Alzheimer's disease, and now we kind of think that this is sort of a type 3 diabetes. Yes? 嗱，各位堂友，最大問題就係胰島素抗拒啦，咁腦遺痴呆症出現啦。咁所以現在咧，好多人咧就覺得呢個咧就係我哋將來所謂叫做第三型嘅糖尿病者啦。Okay, so however, because of the fact that right now in the world, medically is still not truly recognized type 2 diabetes is really so as part of the Alzheimer's disease. So they still start struggling, talk about, well, this is how we call it the type 3. So at least this is them moving on to that direction. Okay. 嗱，呢個你知道咧，其實咧，呢個腦遺痴呆症咧，現在咧係未正式叫做第三型嘅糖尿病嘅，但係因為好多人都係覺得話呢個似乎係呢樣嘢喎，咁所以咧其實咧現在都係繼續研究緊，但係咧好多人都係叫做話第三型嘅糖尿病咧就係呢個腦遺痴呆症啦。 當然啦 ，so really at the end of the day, so people also describe Alzheimer's disease, especially a lot of doctors start thinking, well, maybe this is called type 2 diabetes. But on the other hand, Alzheimer's disease, not every Alzheimer's disease are basically created by diabetes. For example, you have conditions as like pancreatitis, other problem caused by pancreas. So net result, that can be also similarly created Alzheimer's disease. So that's why the medical community is still saying that, well, not all diabetes are Alzheimer's disease. That's correct. So that's why they still right now is debating a lot. OK， 各位朋友，其實咧，現在嘅趨向就係講緊話，哇！我哋將來咧就會3型糖尿病咧就係呢個老人痴呆症啦。但係好多醫生就話，喂，唔係咁喎，好多痴呆症咧都因為係唔係就係糖尿病或者係個胰臟發炎引致咗，好似又係糖尿病咁，但唔係一樣嘅東西。咁所以現在咧都係現在嘅有啲爭拗嘅。But you know, the issues of Alzheimer's disease, we know there's a lot of diabetes basically with vessels are plugged up because of the fact that all the blood sugar cannot get to the brain. So 40 to 45 to 90% type 2 diabetic can be potentially develop Alzheimer's disease. So this is a big issue because a lot of people can potentially develop Alzheimer's disease. So that's something you have to be alert of, for sure. Another thing is diabetes causes a chemical imbalance, and then it also inflames the brain cells, which can potentially also get into Alzheimer's disease. And on top of that, because of the fact that, as you know, the sugar got plugged, so no sugar get to the brain cells sufficiently. So you can start getting so-called vascular dementia. So you start forget things and you can't remember things. So all those are Alzheimer's disease symptoms, but you kind of sometimes it kind of mix up together and say, wow, so would that be an issue of diabetes or Alzheimer's disease? Because there's a lot of things are very similar and cross over and overlap, okay? So now at least the key is really you want to prevent yourself with high blood sugar, with high insulin resistance. At least you prevent yourself not moving to Alzheimer's disease. And that's why I'm trying to get you guys alerted so you can able to start step to prevent your potential get into Alzheimer's disease. And they're also saying that type 2 diabetic woman has more higher probability. Certainly, still a lot of things are still in study, and the scientists are still realize, there's still a lot of things unknown, and they continue to understand the cause, the relationship of diabetes. So it still need to have time to study, understand. But for sure, with the dementia and plug of the brains, create some of the brain cells die, those are all associated, look very like Alzheimer's disease. 嗱，各位朋友，因為個問題咧，我哋依家係大概40至90%咧，好多二型嘅糖尿病患者係患咗腦遺痴呆症。咁喺個醫生嘅眼光嚟睇咧，咁係咪真係會係依樣嘢係糖尿病會產生去到依樣咧？咁依家個結論咧係仲未有住嘅，但係就好似啦 ，OK？ 咁所以咧，仲有一樣嘢咧，因為個糖高嘅時候咧，就令到腦裏邊咧好多神經系統啦就會開始發炎，咁亦都咧呢啲咁嘅發炎咧，亦都令到你咧就會有腦痴呆症嘅喎。咁所以變咗嚟講咧，即係依不同嘅因素咧，係會整咧令到你個腦痴呆症咧係會出現。咁所以其實咧最重要都係要唔會變到你啲血糖好高啦，變咗你腦痴呆症啦。咁 really at the end of the day, what the risk factor of type 2 diabetes, for example？ 有咩係喺喺二型嘅糖尿病咧有好多風險即係增加你嘅所謂糖嘅風險咧 ？Okay, so the risk factor of type 2 diabetes is, for example, If you are pre-diabetic already, you know what? You will be a potential candidate for that because you are pre-diabetic already, right? So you got to be careful. If you're overweight, you're obese, you're 45 years or older, and also your family history of diabetes, and also you are a person who really doesn't do anything to move around. You don't do exercise. Those are really potential risks to get yourself into type 2 diabetes and also potential get yourself into Alzheimer's disease. Plus, you also have gestation diabetic because if you gestate diabetic, you have a good chance to be type 2 diabetes. 嗱，第一，我哋了解有咩人咧係會變咗會將來有二型糖尿病嘅先。第一個就係你係前期患病者啦，第二個你係肥胖啦，我45歲已經係過45歲以上啦，同埋你屋企人咧有好多人有糖尿病，我爸爸有啦，媽媽有啦。我姑姐有啦，我姊妹有啦，咁你個 chance 有咧就好高嘅。咁仲有咧，我係唔喐嘅，我係一個人唔係好多喐嘅生活習慣。For example 啦，第二我係唔係一個成日喐嘅人啦，我又要唔中意 exercise 嘅，我成日翻喺度食嘢或者係成日睇電視嘅啫。咁呢啲人就好多人有多數肥胖啦，同埋 overweight 嘅。仲有我係生我細佬哥嘅時候咧，我亦都會變咗糖尿病。咁如果就要好翻後咧，3-4年後咧，你要注重啦，因為呢個就有機會咧，你變咗糖尿病者嘅。Important to recognize the type 3 diabetes symptom. You know, when the Alzheimer disease start coming along, this symptom will be really important. Now, I think you can take a picture of this. The first really easy to come along is loss of memory. Your memory start losing. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of relatives who are type 2 diabetes. They keep asking your same question 15 to 20 times in the last 5 to 10 minutes. And you get very irritated. Say, hey, mom, you asked me about 15 times the same question. Well, you really got to excuse them because they can't remember. They don't know they have asked you that question. So you really have to give them some break to say, okay, mom, no problem. I understand what you're looking for. You are, yeah, we'll help you out with that. So they don't remember. Okay, they just don't remember to ask you the question. So these are some of the early signs. Memory loss is always the early sign. Okay, so if you are continue to get memory loss, getting worse and worse, especially short-term memory, meaning that you ask something, you just don't remember, you just keep asking the same question over again. If that's an issue come out, you gotta really start talking to a medical professional. You start confusing on time and places, especially people at nighttime. They don't remember this is night, day. They even become very confused. They really have more and more don't want to go out because they have that confusion and fear. So this is another sign that is really potential moving toward to the Alzheimer's disease. Another thing that they don't able to complete any difficult task or any task that is, they supposed to do, which they used to do. Now, this is something, again, is shown that this is coming along with more and more worse situations coming along. And plus, they cannot talk language-wise. They start forget words. They can't forget if they used to able to speak their home language, they start forgetting it. Or they can speak a home language, but can forget to speak how to speak English or certain word. So the language become a more and more problem coming along. Plus, they have problem of challenging problem, how to solve solution, task, that kind of stuff. Problem solving become a real difficult, and they can't plan anymore. Now, all that they start getting fears. They start disassociate themselves because they worry they can bury themselves. So they start withdrawing their work and also social activities. They don't want to go out. They stay at home. They want to lock themselves out basically because they start getting afraid and fear and all that coming along. Now, so if any of the relatives or friends that now start seeing this, you should take them very quickly to the doctor to find out, is it really they're moving towards the Alzheimer's disease or just diabetic, but really getting worse and worse and worse, and getting dementia coming along. Now, I have patients who's starting to get memory loss. One of the major issues, they forget the medication. Because a lot of patients who have diabetes, they also have high blood pressure. And I have patients who forgot their medication for 10 days, the high blood pressure medication. You know what? They got stroke because the blood pressure keeps going up. So that can be really dangerous besides the sugar keep going up. So some people forget to take the insulin, some people take the drugs. So their blood sugar becomes very high, become like 16, 17 or 300. Wow, man, the whole day. So very damaging. So you got to keep checking your mom, relatives who have diabetes, find out where are the memory coming from. Oh, it's okay, you know. So these are the things that you need to start checking. 嗱，各位朋友，我花多啲時間咧講講你個即係 Alzheimer disease 我老人痴呆症第3型嘅糖尿病咁疾病嘅情況咧，你多些少了解。點解咁重要咧？第一，你記憶失咗，哇！呢個係好重要嘅，因為你開始咧，尤其是呢個 short memory 啊，即係短暫嘅記憶啊。你會有啲親戚咧會問你：阿仔，你食咗飯未啊？問咗你15次嘅，5分鐘、10分鐘，你有咗15、16次，因為佢都唔記得咗，佢問過你 question。所以其實呢個咧就唔好怪佢哋，啊點搞錯啊？問得咁啲，呢啲係煩嘅，唔係因為佢真係唔記得，佢係冇 idea。我問咗個 question 俾你 ，OK？ 咁呢個係好重要嘅。咁呢有個即係屋企人係咁咧，咁你真係要帶佢睇醫生啦，因為呢個係一個重要嘅問題。第二樣嘢，佢時間啊、地點啊開始混淆，佢見到出嚟係咪真係天光咧、天黑咧、咩時間咧？呢啲又係咧係好多人有呢個開始有印象。咁呢個亦都係一個先兆話俾你聽，話我要睇醫生點控制呢啲嘢，係咪得控制啊？或者我要改變咧，有咩問題咧？因為咧呢個係要好多時，因為你嘅糖係繼續係咁個 insulin 需要高啦，咁你糖去唔到腦係會令到佢變咗咁喎。咁仲有咧好多時咧，你咩嘅任務啊，咁啲做啲 task 啊，諗嘢你好唔記得啲 task 都唔記得咗。咁呢個亦都係一個好大嘅問題出現嘅。仲有言語溝通你字唔記得，你有陣時可以記得係我識，譬如我係識講中文嘅，佢英文都得嘅，但係你忽然間你唔記得咗點講中文或者英文，是但一樣都得嘅喎。所以呢個係一個又係一個，就係你有啲字係諗唔到出嚟嘅。咁仲有啦。係好多時咧，你係有啲任何嘅計劃挑戰啊，佢係做唔到嘅。嗱，當你做咗呢樣嘢嘅時候咧，你個問題咧，好多時咧啲人咧就開始驚，開始弊啦，我唔想去見人啦。咁佢仲有一樣嘢，越做呢樣嘢咧，佢就更加弊。佢係開始點啊？開始 isolate 自己啊，唔出街啊，就係喺屋企坐喺度。呢個先係大問題啊！所以呢個咧。一定要知道佢有咁嘅症狀咧，就唔好俾佢走唔出街，可能唔做啦，瞓喺屋企啦。咁越整咧就要壞嘅 ，OK？ So really, when you guys seeing all this symptom, you better start taking them back to doctors to check it out, prevent high blood sugar. On top of that, you gotta really have program, which I will explain later, what you can do to help them to change that, to get them more involved and go socially, so stimulate the brain. Now, you know that as we talk about the type 3 diabetes is not officially recognized. This is the type 3 diabetes. But because of that, they really have no particular treatment to really for Alzheimer, this so-called Alzheimer disease. So, but on the other hand, for sure, they know what to do is if you are pre-diabetic, you gotta have your lifestyle change. You have to have better healthy diet. You have to increase your physical activity. You have to lose weight. So you can delay your pre-diabetic progression to type 2 diabetes. So at the end of the day, when you start seeing ourselves as pre-diabetic, so you really need to take steps to basically doing your diet, exercise, and your weight control, and plus take care of your blood sugar. Lower the blood sugar as much as you can so you don't move your type 2 diabetes. Because if you don't go to type 2 diabetes, the chances of Alzheimer's is very low. So importantly, you got to use your lifestyle change. On the pre-diabetic stage, don't move to, diabetes. and you will not get into your Alzheimer's disease. But what happened? You already are diabetic, okay? You're type 2 diabetes now. So now you really more so you have to more aggressively take care of diet, exercise, weight control, plus your oral medication or your insulin to manage your blood sugar level. And also on top of that, you need to get more effort to lower your blood sugars, and also to monitor blood sugar to make sure our blood sugar is always in the normal level. Like, for example, your blood sugar is always under 120 or 110 around the area in the United States. But in Hong Kong, your blood sugar will be always under 6 or 5, between 6.123 and all the way down to 5 lower. So you can always in a much better stage around 5.4 to 6.2 or 3, whatever. That will be the range that you want to be targeting. And your A1C got to be lower than 6.3%. So you want to make sure continue to be in that stage and monitor yourself. And really treatment of Alzheimer's disease, because of the fact that really they don't have a real true treatment for it. But what they will do is you want to make sure you manage all the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Like, for example, you continue to forget things. We'll help you to write things down for you to look so you can remember, or get relatives to help you out to continue to remind you to do things. To hopefully with that, you can improve a better quality of life, get you to help you on the memory, plus you can give you, you might have a caretaker to help you out. On top of that, you have to have a certain lifestyle modification. Make sure that you continue to be good dieting, stimulate your mind, get more social activities for you, so you can able to promote more stimulation to your brain. And that is important, more stimulation to your brain. You don't want to be, when you start getting early stage of Alzheimer's disease, you don't want to be so isolated yourself, don't move, don't do anything. It will get worse, that's all. So you don't want to get worse, is you got to be more diligent to do more brain exercise, socialization, lifestyle modification, like diet, exercise control, and lose your weight, and get people to support you, get the family to support you. That is really the more better way to do it, and so important. 嗱，當你如果你真係 Alzheimer disease 嘅時候咧，即係你未去到呢個 stage 啊，你只係依家糖尿病病者，咁其實你開始進入呢個即係 Alzheimer disease 咧，咁你其實一個問題咧，個 treatment 方面咧就唔係好多嘅，但係好重要，你要記住。如果你未到 Alzheimer disease 係前期嘅，你就已經開始要防禦呢樣嘢咧，你唔會由前期轉咗二型糖尿病，然後就 Alzheimer disease。所以你要知道咧，第一你要係如果你喺前期咧，你就要用你嘅生活習慣改變啦，係飲食方面啦、exercise 啦、運動啦、減重啦，同埋繼續度你嘅糖啦。同埋當聽我哋講書嘅時候，改變咗你生活習慣咧，咁你每日咧就係繼續係做你即係個 lifestyle change 咗之後咧，你個人嘅身體健康更加好嘅。咁呢個係一個好大嘅幫助，令到你唔會變咗二型糖尿病。呢個就係你嘅呢個上策啦，可以講嚟啊。OK， 咁但係如果你變咗糖尿病係點算咧？緊要就要變咗糖尿病咧，你都可以繼續咧係將你嘅生活習慣改變。For example， 我會係開始做更加好嘅 exercise 啦，食嘢控制啦，我磅數控制啦。咁但係因為你糖尿病咯，咁你就做一樣嘢要食藥啦。咁你食藥嘅時候咧，你就要開始點去即係食藥控制啊，唔好唔記得藥啊。因為咧，如果你唔記得藥，你血糖高嘅時候咧，咁你就會繼續 move 你自己去呢個老年痴呆症嘅症狀咯喎。咁就係如果你真係依家已經係糖尿病一段時間啦，你開始有痴呆症嘅時候咧，仲要點咧？你都係要靠，唔係佢藥物唔係好多俾你嘅，但係最重要靠咩咧？靠你嘅生活習慣，能夠改善你嘅生活習慣，能夠俾多啲即係環境上嘅 stimulation， 同啲朋友傾下偈，親戚傾下偈。雖然依家藥咧係有些少俾你increase 記憶力嘅，但唔係好多嘅。但係最重要咧唔係要惡化，繼續，因為佢最弊咧，你一開始咗你就喺呢度咧，就只係能夠 control 啲血糖好啲啊，係咪就令到你個腦咧更加多 stimulation 啊，咁希望唔會惡化，呢個只係能夠做呢樣嘢，所以呢個咧係好重要咧，繼續咧係努力啊，係去個前向發展呢度咁樣去做嘅。So we talk a lot about, hey, how are you going to change lifestyle to prevent you from pre-diabetic to diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and really how you're using your ongoing practice from type 2, you're already pre-type 2 diabetes, to prevent you become Alzheimer's disease. So we're going to talk about that now, about how you do that, the lifestyle changes to help you. Now, certainly, really at the end of the day, is so important to prevent you to get type 2 diabetes, or if you are already type 2 diabetes, how can it prevent you to move you into Alzheimer's disease. Now, very important, first of all, you won't want to get your type 2 diabetes get worse. If your type 2 diabetes get worse or high insulin resistant, you will become Alzheimer's disease because that is the link, okay? So certainly the doctor is still trying to figure out, is it truly linked? But that is most likely, it is the case. So you need to continue to drive your lifestyle changes to prevent even from starting out pre-diabetic, not to go to type 2 diabetes. You have type 2 diabetic, it's the same. You have to prevent yourself get worse, so you become Alzheimer's disease. So the first thing you do, you have to eat healthily. You control your diet, low carb, low fat. Diet is so important. And with that, you also, because your diet control, you were able to blood sugar, better manage your blood sugar because you're better diet control. See, I would not keep eating a lot of high carb diet. I would eat low carb diet. You know what? Your blood sugar will be much more controlled. Secondly, you got to stay active. You have to exercise. You have to weight management. Because you don't exercise, you're not going to burn out excess blood sugar. Everything is really become, you become no exercise. Your sugar are not being used. So your blood sugar continue goes up. So really, stay active, exercise is probably one of the very important keys. So it's very easy, not a hard thing. You do 10,000 walk a day, 10,000 walk, or walk up the stairs from your apartment, for example. That will do. With that, because you exercise, your weight will be also potentially decreased. So you have to manage your weight, bring your BMI down to 23 and lower, okay? So that will become a very important really step for you to prevent you from pre-diabetic to diabetes, or diabetes to potential Alzheimer's disease. So if you are smoking, hey, stop smoking. You drink a lot, you got to drink only moderately. Half a glass of red wine in the evening, it's okay, but not a lot more anymore. So you got to really work on smoking, quitting, and don't drink too much. Now, sleep is important because you don't sleep well, you're going to create stress, and that increases blood sugar. So very importantly, you're going to have a very good quality sleep, good environment so you can totally relax, so you can be much less stressed, so your blood sugar can actually go down. Now, if you have diabetes, they will definitely give medication. So you have to control all your medication and all the issues that will come along. Take your drugs, your blood pressure pills, your cholesterol pill, and your blood sugar pill. And you have to take care of all the medication, make sure you don't forget it. Because a lot of people forgot it, you know what? The blood sugar can continue to go up, skyrocketing. The worst thing is your blood pressure go up, skyrocketing, you become animal stroke. Now, other things to really help you to continue maintain good control and not to get worse to your potential move to the Alzheimer's disease is really you have to manage stress, less sugar. More important, you have to continue cognitive stimulation. What that means is you have to have looking at knowledge of watching TV, but thinking of programs to help you to stimulate your brain, figure things out. On top of that, you have the social engagement, meaning you get your friends coming in, talk about your problem to them. They listen to you. You got to socialize and enjoy each other. So all that will help you to decrease the potential be Alzheimer's disease because you keep your brain active, keep working on it. So that is very important. So also another thing is so important is you have to drink your low sugar tea because low sugar tea definitely is a natural product. It's not a drug. It's just a supplement with help you to lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. So you put it down as part of your daily routine. You drink low sugar 6 to 8 glasses a day. So keep your blood sugar continue to be low and keep your cholesterol to be low also. And your blood pressure will low. So in conclusion, Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative condition characterized by memory loss, cognitive decline, and behavior change. The reason is that because when you lose memory, you're going to get scared, you don't remember a thing, you can't figure out things out, you're going to be very frustrated, your personality will be also start changing, okay? And study also show that potentially you basically, if you have insulin resistance, they will increase insulin resistance. So then the sugar cannot get into the brain cells. And eventually some of the brain cells start dying. So end up, they become developing the Alzheimer's disease. But on the other hand, right now the study keep trying to figure out is that part of the link. So there's still a lot of understanding how this being formed. So all these are at least a lot of people are trying to figure out this stage. But for sure, they felt that this is kind of thing that it is highly related. Type 2 diabetes, if you get worse, you can be Alzheimer's disease. That's why I want to categorize this you get dementia and you can't remember things. So this has become a type 2 diabetes. But it's not officially called that way, but at least moving, indicating toward to the direction. So if you are type 2 diabetes, how do you prevent yourself move to Alzheimer's disease or AD? The important thing is you've got to continue to do your lifestyle changes with regular exercise, balanced diet, maintain your proper health, and basically take your medication and drink low sugar tea. 首先，老人痴呆症咧係一種神經好慢嘅退化嘅病嚟嘅。咁你會改變咗你自己嘅記憶力啦，同埋咧你個認知能力咧係繼續係降低嘅。咁所以咧現在研究緊咧就知道咧胰島素抗拒咧係對你個呢個老人痴呆症咧係一個有一個 linkage 嘅。咁其實個原因就係因為佢啲糖，因為有胰島素抗拒，啲糖帶唔到入去個腦嘅細胞裏邊，嗰腦細胞就會死。咁所以變咗嚟講咧，就 end up 咧，咁你就會變咗好似老人痴嘅嗰種嘅病嘅形狀出現啦。咁同埋咧你會繼續係開始呢度咧就繼續差落去嘅喎，咁你一定要控制佢 ，OK， 唔好俾佢繼續差落去。咁如果你真係有 AD 啦，咁啊點算咧？同埋點去防禦你去變 AD 咧？咁好重要，你都係一定二型糖尿病嚟㗎。 咁你就要包括咧，你自己改咗好嘅生活習慣，包括你磅嘅重啦、食嘅物啦、去運動啦，同埋保持你重磅啦，係最緊要飲虛糖茶。咁希望呢啲咁嘅情況下咧，你喺二型嘅糖尿病控制咗咧，之後你就唔會去咗AD 嘅病啦。And really, when you have a pre-diabetic condition or type 2 diabetes, now you are continue to manage your lower blood sugar. So if you are able to do that, the chances for you to have the risk to develop AD is much more less. So important is that you have to continue strive for keeping a healthy blood sugar so you will not become an AD person. You have to continue to engage your medical doctors to basically you continue to let treating you and make sure that you don't get worse, because AD only can control, they don't reverse. You just need to control, don't get worse, okay? But with that though, what else you got to do? Well, we have to increase the cognitive stimulation, more social contact, make sure that the doctor understands where you're at and continue to help you out during this time. If you're not AD yet, they want to make sure that monitor your blood sugar and make sure you don't get worse, so decrease your risk to become AD person, okay? So working with your doctor is so important, because really with that, you can able to have a tailor-made program for you to ensure you don't get into AD. And if you're AD already, also give you a program to help you manage how you become, control that, don't get worse. So that it will be the key. So 如果你係已經係前期患病者，最重要咧係要知道點樣能夠你唔會變糖尿患病者、二型糖尿患病者。亦都如果你糖尿患病者，你亦都知道點樣會做點會繼續咧係控制啲糖咧，唔會變咗呢個 AD 嘅風險。即係話，哇！如果係咁講，我係點全部控制咧？嗱，好重要咧，其實就係你生活習慣嚟控制嘅。第一，你一定要知道咧，如果你係已經係前期患病咧，咁你一定要繼續了解你食嘅嘢啦、運動啦，同埋你嘅磅數啦，繼續降低啦，同埋繼續去即係知道點去管理啦。咁變咗嚟講咧，你就永遠唔會行到去 AD 個部位，或者你嗰個嚴重嘅糖尿病嘅部位，因為你已經控制啲血糖成日都係好噶啦，咁就 OK 啦。咁你第一要控制嗰個風險，因為如果去 AD 咧，翻唔到著都係繼續 AD 嘅 ，OK？ 咁如果你 AD 咗啦，咁點算咧 ？OK， 冇問題。你哋要開始咧，有多啲要腦刺激嘅東西，即係點能夠令到我個腦更加活躍啊？能夠令到我更加係有多數刺激個腦咧，會係能夠做即係更加做到嘅嘢啊！咁變咗嚟講咧，好多呢啲咧就係要係即係譬如好似做多啲腦部即係記嘢 exercise 啊，呢啲係全部都要同埋社交嘅活動啊，多朋友傾下偈啊，咁呢啲係全部係幫助你控制到會 get worse 嘅。其實仲要 AD 咧就係俾佢繼續 get worse，OK？ 當然啦，如果你知道你而家已經開始有 early AD 咧，咁你真係要你醫生講咧係點能夠幫你用咩 program 幫你咧係更加能夠同你一齊咧係令到你會 get worse， 會 get 更加差嘅 AD， 所以係要一齊合作嘅，醫生啦、你自己啦、屋企人啦，有好多 social support 俾你啦。咁然後咧，你先能夠令到你更加係健康嘅。嗱，咁結論啦，就係點咧？就係我希望咧，會你第一係令到你自己去由前期去二型糖尿病。如果你嘅二型糖尿病 already 啦，咁你就唔會去由二型去 AD。呢個係我希望咧 你唔會做到即係去到呢個情況下係會去到 AD 嘅。所以好重要咧喺前面有好嘅控制，咁你就會變咗係更加容易咧，會見得更加差。Okay? So what we all talk about today is if you are already pre-diabetic, it's so important. I want you to continue to work on not to get yourself type 2 diabetes, because if you can able to do that, oh, that would be so good. Because you don't want to continue to get that worse. Why? That would be terrible. Because end result, you become AD. Okay, I don't think we should do that, right? So let's try not to get that done, so you can continue to be healthy, good mental health. That is so important. Okay, so remember that. So you don't get into AD, because you are now well controlled. Your blood sugar continue from, if you are pre-diabetic, not to get diabetes. If you have diabetes, we control getting your blood sugar A1C less than 6.3 or 6.4, so you don't always get the risk to get into AD. So that is the whole chain that what we're trying to do today. So we want to make sure that you understand that, so you can able to continue to change your lifestyle, control your blood sugar, so you don't get to AD. But once you get AD, well, you now even more aggressively, control your lifestyle, able to have all kinds of things like stimulation, socialization, to get you more involved, continue work with you, to basically control, don't get you get worse. Because the control will be really basically your lifestyle change is so important. And decrease your insulin resistance is so important. So how do you do that? One of the things important also to drink low sugar tea. Somehow low sugar tea, if people have high insulin resistance, they tend to increase insulin sensitivity, get more sugar in the cells, and dump the excess sugars out from urine, and also cholesterol dump out urine, and salt dump out, and your blood pressure comes down. So that is really give tremendous assistance to you to decrease your blood sugar and maybe bring it down to lower than 6.4, so the chances of Alzheimer's disease become less. Now, I finished my lecture. I don't know if you have any more questions. You can write to me, andy@wafong.com, and that's our WhatsApp number. And you can also, if you're in the United States, you can call Hawaii, and you can also write me an email. You can take a picture of this. So hopefully that we can able to communicate. So if you have any question, do ask. I appreciate today you listened to our webinar, and I really felt that it's great. Even a busy weekend, you can able to understand how to prevent your Alzheimer's disease risk. That is, hopefully, this is what I'm trying to do today to help you better understand your potential to make sure you don't fall into the risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. Okay, if there's no question, I appreciate you spend the time listening to our webinar. I appreciate your help, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and looking forward to see you next week again. Take care. Bye-bye.